This video is about positive mental reprogramming, where we train our mind to give us more positive results in life. After all, the mind is the cause and life is just the effect. Then address the root cause of your life, which is the way your mind was programmed. Take control, the reins of your mental states, because the mind will only throw into the environment what is inside it, and our world will be the reflection of that. If you believe that and want to reprogram your mind, stay with us until the end of this video, so you can have a lighter, more fun, fuller and happier life. In this video I want to share with you a powerful command for you to give to your mind to install this mental drive, this tool, this mental application, because our mind is like a computer. It needs you to install the software on it, otherwise it won't run. In fact, you already have a lot of stuff installed in you. We are all born with several programs installed from our mother's belly. So let's consciously change this programming to have the results we want in our lives. This statement, this exercise for you to do, is a mental command to open your vision for the spiritual world. Exactly, I could say that it helps to open the third eye, to use a little more esoteric language. This command will help your mind to expand, to stop seeing only the material world, as this greatly limits our possibilities and makes our mind more desperate, because the material world is not 1% of everything that exists. The spirit world exists, but our physical eyes are not yet trained to see it. In fact, the eyes are the window of the mind. If the mind is trained, the eyes will see, but if your mind is not trained to see the spiritual, even if at a glance you see something, what is going to happen? The mind will be afraid, the mind will despair, it will think that it is wrong or that it has to run away because it is not normal, it is not in the mind's programming. We always have to have a rational and logical explanation for the things we are seeing. The more we study spirituality, self-knowledge, we open our third eye and we train our mind to identify the signs of the supernatural world. The truth is that self-knowledge is not just about knowing your name, your age, your sign, or doing psychoanalysis to get to know yourself. It doesn't stop there, because you won't study only the body, you will not study only your mind, you have to know yourself in spirit. You are a triune being. The spirit is consciousness that does not depend on the body, since it existed before the body existed and will continue to exist when the body ends. It didn't fit all of it here, in the physical body, so you are a small portion, a tiny drop, 1% of your total consciousness, your divine spark, your spirit, to create what we call the lower self, or human self, which is the self that is here in matter, living this experience, piloting the body and everything. But when that lower self acts regardless of the higher self, it does not connect with most of it, and stops using all of its potential and energy, and is like a cell phone operating with 1% battery. Then you get desperate, you don't know where to find the solution, and you really don't know, because you were not designed to have all the answers. How can you handle 100% of the situation? You only have 1%. That's why it's very important to know yourself at the soul level, at the spirit level, at the deepest level, where you know who you are beyond form, because beyond form you are consciousness, you are pure spirit, pure love, you are an infinite being. We call it the divine spark. When you align with your divine spark, no one holds you there. The lower self is connected with the higher self, and the totality of its energy is available to you. The body is happy, your mind works in harmony. When your higher self and lower self are aligned, the mind becomes a powerful instrument. A wonderful way of creating reality in a more positive way. This command, this mental affirmation, will help you to open your perception and prepare your mind for the signs of your higher self, your divine spark, the spiritual world. First thing, is normal to be spiritual. After all, we are eternal spirits having a temporarily human experience, so if our home is the spirit, then the spiritual is more natural than the material. The material is just a quick and small passage, but the spiritual is where we spend the most time. Our time, So why not train your mind to access the spiritual world and live in harmony with it? So that you don't sabotage your spiritual growth process, it's important to train your mind and tell it, I am not the body. The body is only a temporary vehicle for human experience. I am infinite consciousness. Now, let's learn the powerful affirmation to train your mind so that you begin to see the spirit world. You will use this affirmation consistently. It is not worth using it once, try to use it for at least 90 days. Using this affirmation and you will start to see points of light. You might end up thinking they were never there, but actually everything is already here. But as our focus is so much on the material, these other things become impossible to be perceived, because the mind will only be able to see where your focus is. So, when you make this statement that I'm going to teach you now, you take your mind and tell it to focus on the spiritual world, that it's safe, everything is fine, it's its natural state. Relax, look around you and say, I invented the world I see. This statement is very powerful, and it is part of one of the lessons in a very famous book for mental training called A Course in Miracles, and it's in lesson 32 of that book. You'll just walk around and look at the world and say, I invented the world I see. In your home, I invented the world I see. Are you seeing your house? You invented your home, but a mind focused on the material world will say, I didn't invent my house, it was already here when I arrived, but it is precisely to transcend this perception of limited reality that you only go or do what the body can do or where the body can go. That's not the whole truth. You go places your body doesn't go. Exactly. Your consciousness goes to places where your body cannot go but your consciousness can. Just because your body wasn't there doesn't mean you weren't there because you were. It's just that your lower self isn't aware of it. But your higher self, most of the time visits so many planets, visit dimensions that the lower self cannot even dream of. So when you make that statement, you are activating your higher self, which has the broader vision that does not see only the matter, that sees the spirit, that sees the other part that is greater than that, which gave rise to the physical world. The first Hermetic law, which is one of the universal laws, says the following. The law of mentalism says that the whole is mind, and the universe is mental. So, if the universe is mental, in the Kybalion book itself says, if the character and nature of the universe is mental, it follows that mind is the greatest power that produces its phenomena. Then if things are not material, if they are mental, so the mind invented the environment in which the body lives. At the deepest level, this understanding already exists inside you, it is latent there, guarded, and when you make that statement you wake up and awaken that knowledge that already exists intrinsically within you. Because it is not your physical self, your physical body, your lower self that invented the world you see, it is your higher self. It is in the perception that transcends the perception of the matter that was invented, created this world you're living in. Why is it important to make this statement? Because you are taking over master control of your environment, so there must be responsibility by the environment you are in now. If you look around and you don't like what you see, guess who created it? Exactly. This is the side of self-responsibility. At first the ego will say, this is an accusation, I wouldn't make this up, but the fact is that you created everything in your life. But not consciously. This powerful affirmation will help you awaken within you, and you will begin to take control of your life through taking control of your mind. You can't change things outside, but you can change things inside, and when you do so, things outside change too. It's amazing when you take responsibility for the manifestation that exists in your life, how you manage to open your eyes to the spiritual world, and you begin to see the fabric of reality, you get to see behind the matrix. But you won't see it if you don't take responsibility that it was you who invented the world you're seeing, But it's not the lower self, it's not the physical self. It's a deeper self that you didn't remember now, but when you say that you activate the memory of your true self, and your field is opening up, your field of perspective and vision is expanding, and you are able to see what is beyond matter, because what we call matter is the reflection of what was born in the spirit. This is one of the universal laws, the law of correspondence, which says that what is above is like what is below, and what is below is like what is above. What is in the physical world is a correspondent of what already existed in the non-physical world, of what was created in the field of the mind, in the mental field. So, if you want to create new things in your physical world, you need to take responsibility for what has already been created, by looking and doing this exercise. I invented the world I see. And then, you will see how your perception will open, the understanding, the memory that you already know, that this knowledge is already yours, will begin to emerge in you. Some symptoms of things that you'll start to see as you practice this exercise, and do this statement with the intention of recovering your original memory, which is the understanding that you know what is really behind this matrix. You will start to see lights. It's like little points of light, as if it was glitter. Some are bigger lines, others smaller. It's like a starry sky at night. You see many stars. You can see threads of light that are also part of the fabric of reality. You can see lights going by. Things like that. Your intuitive ability more than doubles when you do this exercise. Practice this exercise over and over again, with the intention of really opening your mind, your spiritual vision, so that you can enhance it even more, because your focus will be specifically on that. When you align with the spiritual world, you only have benefits. You will no longer despair with nothing, because you will be sure that the spiritual world will come into action to help you. It is a tremendous confidence that only those who align themselves with the spiritual world have. Those who live in matter and do not trust the spiritual world, have a very sad life, a life without faith, a life of limitation. The spirit world is here to help us, because it is actually the origin of everything we see here in the physical world. If you liked this video, leave your like, subscribe to the channel and activate the bell for more videos. If you believe this video can help someone, practice altruism and share it. Thanks for watching.